All right. New project. Very slow with the learning curve, so, but our rafters, we seem to get them laying the way we want them. We got some blocking already put in right down the middle. And then since we were right here, we set up our little bit of scaffolding so we can reach right up. Might as well put those 2x4s that come across, and eventually that's where our kitchen ceiling will hang, the drywall, so might as well get that in. We were even thinking of putting the blocking in on the outside here, but that's just too slow, and we want to get the underlayment or the OSB up there so we can move on to the bigger roof up here and get it dried in. And we'll come back and if we have to and do all the blocking and all the little stuff. So, but it looks pretty good so far. Nice and level with the 2x4s, and it's pretty strong. We did have to take a little time this morning than we thought by putting a string across this wall just to make sure it was perfect. And as you can see, we had to add a couple of kickers just to make it right on the line so we know we're good. And so far all our rafters have been pretty much cut the same, so that's good news. That tells you you're nice and parallel. This wall and then the top of this wall here, so that's good news. And we'll just move it on down. There's 20 of these, so we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not quite a third of the way down. Morning, guys. Starting out fresh today. Shannon's already 8 a.m. and Shannon's been up here about a half an hour drawing our next set of lines and marks where our rafters and 2x4s go. So what I'll do is I'll set up the camera and you can see us do a couple of these. But we're just setting up. We're actually need another ledger board up. If you look. So the board right there is called a ledger board, and that'll go all the way along this wall up here. Nice and level. And that's what you hang your rafters on. So Shannon's just finishing up the last of the marks on this ledger board. And then you make the same marks here, and we're doing 2 foot on center. And then the 2x4s, like I said, are for when we get to the drywall. But since we're doing all this and right here, we'll just hang those too. Okay guys, we're putting up the next section of our ledger board. We just do it in smaller sections because there's only 2 of us. 10-foot sections here. Okay, Shannon's drawing the next set of 24 on center, which is what we're laying this roof out as. And then we're going to take a break and I'll turn it on so we can show hanging some rafters there. The next set. Guys, another thing we're finding with the roof is we're reusing, this was from this same roof last year. And when it fell down, some cracked, but not too many. But the way we're doing this roof a little bit stronger and framing it a little bit different is, I don't know if you can, the camera picks it up, but I put a pencil mark there and I'm just doing this on the chop saw here, but chopping that piece off all the way right here brings this in a little bit shorter and that's what we need. We're just, we did this wall a little different and we got sheeting on there. So that takes up a little bit of room, that OSB, and we're finding these are reusing these, and they all just have to have a little cut taken out of them. So it's kind of cool that we're being able to, so far, recover, I would say, a good 90–95% of our lumber so far. Hi guys, anyone new to the channel, this is Poncho and Lefty. Lefty's the white-haired dog, Poncho's the black-haired dog, and we like the song The Ballad of Poncho and Lefty from Willie Nelson, so that's where we got their names from. And we rescued them while we were spent a winter in New Mexico. So here he comes, good boy. All right, what we did so far this morning is we got so tired and it was after 7, so we had to finish up the last 2 rafters up there. So this is all done, ready to be sheeted, and I'll show you what needs to be done before we can sheet. But we did put those 2 in and hung our blocking and our 2x4s all the way across for eventual drywall ceiling. Come on, Punch. And we came out here and put a couple of studs up there and then sheeted that triangle that's up there. And then the next thing will be, we got to match all these that are hanging over with another 2 feet, because we're going to bring this roof out 2 feet and then box it all in and then put a fascia board across here, and that'll finish it all off. And go down to the other side, do the same thing, the triangle up there, the sheeting, and put a 2-foot overhang on it. And at that time, then you can put the sheeting on your roof. And this roof will be done. And then it's basically 2 more sections. One just like this up above. It's going to be almost identical. It's a little bit longer. It's based on a half. Half would be 7 feet, because that is 14 feet up there wide. So half would be 7 and the other half would be 7. So 2 more sections kind of like that, and they'll just go together up there and make a gable roof. Then we got to sheet that in, cover that up, and then we can put the underlayment, the sheeting on that roof, and just about officially dried in. We'll cut out the rest of the windows and then start putting the windows in. Be dried in, which will be a huge day. But it's going good, knock on wood. That's where we're at right now. It's getting hot. Today's one of the first of the 90-degree days. So we're gonna work maybe a couple more hours on making what they call that overhang is a rake. And we're gonna make our ladders. Some people call it a roof ladder, because it looks kind of like a ladder when it's framed, and then you'll throw it up there. And so we'll start probably making those, and we'll see how far we get today. Morning, guys. Just wanted to let you know, yesterday afternoon we stopped a little bit during the height of the heat of the afternoon and went out and got some supplies and stuff. And then we came back and it was nice. What we're finding is it's nice and shady in here later in the afternoon now because all the walls and sheeting are up and some of the roof now. So we actually built our ladders. So they're in two sections because it'll make it easier to put these up. We got our scaffolding in place here and on the outside so that we're both going to get up there, try to put it up with clamps and then screw it to the existing member and it's going to hang over. Shannon's just, we're going to feed them through the ceiling and one of us will be on the other side. So that's what we're going to start with this morning. Okay guys, this is from inside the roof. Above I'm screwing. What these are called are purlins. And what you do is notch out the board like we did yesterday and they'll run and just give it extra support out on to that the 2-foot piece that we hung over, and it just gives it one and then another one. And what I did is screwing it right here and then screw down there, there, and there, and it ain't going nowhere. So just finishing that up. Next will be a string line right across here to make sure these are perfect, and then we put our fascia board across there. All right, we got the first 8 feet of fascia. That's that board going across. We hung up our string line all the way down and everything was surprisingly good. There's 2 that we marked that might need some adjustment, but we got our saw with us up there and we'll cut it when we get to it. That's how that looks off the side. And when we get down to the other end, we'll hang this other 2-foot overhang at this end as we work our way down, and then we're done and ready to sheet. Nice cloudy day. Be good to start the roofing. Yesterday and the first thing this morning is we finished our sub fascia, which is that 2x6 running all the way along, and then put up our second 2-foot overhang right here, closed it all in. So Shannon's actually just bringing over, we threw 5 sheets of roofing in, of sheathing, the OSB. So our plan is to take all 5 sheets, put them up there, lean them up against that upper wall, and we'll just work out a system. We always do. We're pretty new at this, so we don't, I think we've done roofing one other time on our barn in Tennessee. But right now we're gonna try to come up with a good system for getting it up there and eventually following that by doing the upper roof. So work out the kinks on this lower one, right? So here we go, see what we get. All right, Shannon's just finishing up our last section on the front 4 feet of this roof, and then there's about 3 feet behind it that's got to get sheeted, so that'll be easier because we get to cut a foot off of each of the sheets, but it looks a lot better. So it really came out nice and straight though. We're pretty happy. Our overhang looks good. So a 312 pitch, so when you're up there it doesn't even feel just a little slope, not much. So might look kind of scary, but it's really, the wood is pretty grippy. She's got sneakers on. Pretty good. So yesterday, after putting that one sheet up, we saw it on a video. We just didn't care for doing it that way. It took too slow. So what we did is went back to our old way of when we had to bring siding sheets up. We just brought them up one at a time, up one section of this scaffolding and then up to the top. And what's good about a roof is we could do multiple sheets and just lay them up there on the roof and then go up there and nail a bunch of them, like 3 of them on. So it actually goes a little bit faster, even though the sheets are a little bit heavier for roofing, 3/4 inch versus 1/2 inch. So yesterday we were so hot in that sun after just doing one sheet. We came in here, and if you see, these are called Simpson ties, and they're heavy duty ties, and they just tie that floor together onto our top plate. So we came into the shade and did a bunch of those there. And then we did our rafters up here and got each of them tied in even better. So it looks pretty good, I think. So, all right guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. This roof should be done this afternoon. And like I said, we just have that strip right along there above me. And then we're on to the big roof, which is a double version of what we just put up. So we're gonna take it in 2 sections. And so this, right behind me, this first section was 1, then half of this roof is 2, and the other half is 3. So we got 2 sections to go basically. So time-wise, we just like to figure how long that took us. So this took us almost a week from start to finish. Not too bad. And hopefully the same, maybe 2 weeks for this roof to be in. And then once that sheeting's on, we're dried in. So next thing will be doing the roofing on top, the metal roofing, the underlayment, that sort of thing. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.